I once heard a saying, there are two best times to plant a tree. One was 20 years ago. The other is right now. The first time I heard it, I laughed, because it sounded like one of those life lesson quotes wrapped in a nice philosophical perfume. But then one night, I remembered it differently. It became a question. If the best time was 20 years ago, then what about the people who couldn't do it back then? People stuck in difficult families, illness, money pressure, people who were just trying to survive each day. People who tried, then burned out, then failed, then lost faith. Did they miss the train? I used to think they did. I used to watch other people move forward, then look back at myself and feel like I was standing still. And then I would come to a cruel conclusion. Maybe I'm just the kind of person who isn't meant to change. Do you know that feeling? You watch an inspiring video, hear a few powerful lines, your heart warms up, and you think, yes, I'm going to start again. But the next morning, you wake up, your body feels heavy like stone, your old problems are still there, and last night's motivation disappears like it never existed. And then you blame yourself. You tell yourself you're lazy, that you don't have enough discipline, that you still haven't grown up. I blamed myself like that for a long time too, until I realized something. Some people don't need more pressure. They need a different way of seeing, because 20 years ago sounds poetic, but it can also be a trap. It turns the past into a perfect measuring stick, and then uses that stick to hit the present. It makes you believe that if you didn't start early, starting late is pointless. But a tree doesn't think like that. A tree doesn't know how late you are. A tree only knows this. Did someone water it today? To me, 20 years ago is a symbol of what we regret, the choices we missed, the times we procrastinated, the opportunities that passed. And every time we feel regret, it usually isn't just regret. There's shame in it. There's anger at ourselves. There's that feeling of, I should have known better. And a small voice that whispers, why was I so stupid? Why didn't I try harder? How did I let it get to this point? That voice is exhausting. It drains your energy, because you're spending your energy fighting yourself. But right now, I started to understand. Right now is not a 180-degree life transformation. It's not waking up tomorrow as a brand new person, perfectly disciplined, waking up at 5 a.m., going to the gym, eating clean, meditating for 30 minutes, working like a machine. No, right now is usually tiny. So tiny that your brain might even look down on it. Right now can be, you get up and wash your face. You open the window so the room can breathe. You put your phone down for 10 minutes. You eat a real meal instead of skipping it. You write one line. What am I feeling today? You go outside and walk for 5 minutes. You message someone. Hey, are you doing okay lately? These things can sound like they won't change anything, but real change doesn't usually start with motivation. It starts with evidence. Your brain doesn't believe promises. Your brain believes proof. The more you do small things, the more your brain begins to record. Oh, maybe I'm the kind of person who can start. Oh, maybe I'm the kind of person who can come back. Oh, maybe I'm not stuck forever. That's when right now starts to matter. Here's something people don't say enough about starting late. Starting late often hurts more than starting early, because you're not only doing something new, you're also facing the shadow of your past. You start exercising after years of neglecting your body. And at the same time, you face insecurity. How did I let it get this bad? You start learning a skill again. And at the same time, you face comparison. Everyone is so good. I feel like a beginner. You start rebuilding a relationship. And at the same time, you face fear. What if I mess it up again? So if it feels hard, it's not because you're weak. It's because you're doing something difficult. I used to think discipline was something you're born with. Some people have it, so they succeed. Others don't, so they don't. But later I learned, discipline is often the result of safety. When your life is stable, when you sleep enough, when you're not worried about every dollar, when you have support, when your mind isn't constantly being worn down. Discipline is easier, but when you're barely holding yourself together, when you're anxious, heartbroken, lonely, exhausted, then doing one small thing is already a victory. If you're in that season, then right now shouldn't be a big tree. It should be a seed. You don't plant a tree with anger. You plant a tree with patience. You can't tell a seed, hurry up, sprout faster, give me results now. All you can do is create conditions. Soil, water, light, time, and I think life is the same. A lot of times, what keeps us from moving forward isn't a lack of desire. It's that our living conditions don't allow it. So the question isn't, why am I not as good as other people? The question is, what conditions am I missing? Sleep? Support? Time? Money? Belief? A plan that's light enough to begin? When you ask the right question, you blame yourself less. And when you blame yourself less, you finally have room to change. There's a kind of procrastination that's often misunderstood. Procrastination isn't always laziness. Sometimes it's fear. Fear of starting and failing. Fear of trying and being judged. Fear of doing it and realizing you're not good. Fear of change, because change might take away something familiar, even if that familiar thing hurts you. Our brains often prefer what's familiar over what's happy. It sounds strange, but it's true. Familiar feels safe. Happiness can come with risk. So, right now isn't always a big action. Sometimes, it's a small negotiation with fear. I don't have to do everything. I just have to do a little. I don't have to be perfect. I just have to begin. And here's what I wish someone told me earlier. You don't need to feel ready to start. You start to become ready. You don't need confidence first. You build confidence by doing. Confidence isn't the requirement. Confidence is the side effect. But how do you keep going without burning out? I used to try the go hard once method. One day I'd be full of energy, doing everything. Then the next day I would disappear. And then I'd shame myself. See? You're not consistent. Later, I learned a different way. Do so little that you have no reason to quit. If you want to read, don't start with 30 pages a day. Start with 1 page. It sounds silly, but 1 page is a doorway. Some days you'll read more, but the goal is to keep stepping through the doorway. If you want to exercise, don't start with 1 hour. Start with 5 minutes of stretching. If you want to learn English, don't start with 2 grammar lessons. Start with 3 minutes of listening to a short clip. If you want to clean your room, don't start with clean everything. Start with 1 corner, because what you're building isn't a performance. You're building a new identity. I'm someone who comes back, and when you become someone who comes back, you won't be afraid of getting lost, because you trust you can always find your way home. I also want to speak to the people who hear, right now, and feel pressure, because you're tired. You're just trying to get through the day. And right now can sound like someone standing in front of you, pointing a finger. Do it. Now. Stop procrastinating. If that's how it feels, I want to soften it. The best time to plant a tree is when you can breathe, when you can stand steady, when you can offer yourself a little kindness. And can doesn't have to be big. It just has to be enough. Sometimes the tree you need to plant isn't success. It's peace. Not be better, but hurt less. Maybe today, your tree is going to bed 20 minutes earlier, eating a real meal, seeing a doctor when your body is warning you, saying no to something that drains you, removing something toxic from your feed, letting yourself rest without guilt. You don't have to plant a tree that the whole world can see. You can plant a tree just so your life feels a little easier. And one day, when you look back, you might realize you planted a whole garden made of tiny things. You are not too late. You are still here. And the fact that you are still here is already a beginning. If you want, I want to invite you to a very small exercise, like a closing ritual for this video. Think of 1 tree you want to plant. Just 1. Don't choose the biggest.